Okay, Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is as usual. I'll just cover some explanation about the previous quiz in case anyone need for this explanation. And as usual, I'll be putting it in the playlist for this semester in case anyone who would like to revise later on. Okay. Okay, inshallah. So this was the previous quiz for chapter 9, the second part, which is related to composite area, where the question asked us to determine the coordinate of the centroid. So basically, when we have a composite area like this, and we need to find the centroid, we have to first determine what we have to do in terms of how will we divide the whole area into separate segment of basic shapes, right? So in this case, we can see that we can divide this into one triangle here, one rectangular here, and then minus this circle there, right? So basically um, we have the rectangle plus the triangle minus the circle, right? So that is the three elements that we have to compute. Uh, all right. So let's say it's number 1, number 2, and number 3. Right, and then if you divide into several segments, clearly indicate which segment and indicate and label each of them. Clearly illustrate your calculation in table. Right. So in terms of the equation, it is just like the integration equation, but this is in terms of summation. So we have x bar equal to summation of x with a over summation of a, and then y bar equal to summation of y with a over summation of a. So in terms of the um, table, we will have basically the element which refers to element which refer to this 1, 2, and 3, and then we have the area, and then x with y with, and from there you can get x with a, y with a, right? So that in the end we can just compute x with a summation here, divide by summation of area, you'll get the x bar. Similarly for summation of y with a, divide by summation of area, you got y bar. So the critical point here is just how to get the correct coordinate actually, because the rest is easy. This question is designed to be easy actually, to make it hopefully easy for the student as well as easy for me to mark. Right? So in terms of the dimension here, this is 4 times 3. This is 3 times 4 here. This radius is 0.5. All right, that's number 1. So in terms of, for example, element 1, the area is simply just 3 times by 4, right? And element 2 is half times 3 times 4 for the triangle. And then for the circle is just pi r square. Pi, what is it? 0.5 square. Uh, okay, so that's the area. That's the easy part, right? So in terms of the centroid of this, right? So we've got S wave and Y wave is just what is the centroid, the coordinate of the centroid of the shapes, right? So in this case, the centroid will be at the middle. So in this case, it is divided into 2 and divided into 1/2, half and half, 2 and 2, right? But the coordinate system is in such a way that it is somewhat here, and somewhat here, right? So what is that coordinate? So that is where we have to make sure that we get the correct one. So if I know that, for example, this height here, what is this height? Okay, this height here is 1, right? So that is 1, while this height here until the centroid is half of 3 is 1.5. So okay, that's y coordinate. So in that case, y coordinate is 1.5. Right, it's upward 1.5. For x coordinate, I know that this length here is also 1. So this is 1, while this whole length until the centroid is 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the coordinate will be -1 in that case, -1.
So,
This is correct. This is 0.5, right? What
yes.
1.5 divide -1 is 0.5. Okay. Did I minus that one? Okay. So this is 2 minus 1 is -1 here. 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5. All right. Okay. Yeah, I think that is correct. Hopefully that is correct. Okay, and then for this one here, we have the centroid is basically 1/3 and 2/3 ratio. So in that case, because this is 4, so it will be just 1/3 of 4 is 4/3 here. And then you have another like 8/3, right? Here to you add up, you'll get 12/3, which is 4 distance there. While this height here is 2 and 1 with the ratio of 1 and 2. Where is the axis? The axis is somewhat where is it? Axis here, and then outside, right here. Okay. Right. So for what is the x coordinate? So the x coordinate. So in this case, from the axis to here is 1. So you have 1 there, and then you have to add this one 4/5, right? So it's 1 plus 4/5, 4/3. Sorry. Then you'll get 7/3, right? Positive. Is it positive? 7/3. Right, that's the x coordinate. And y coordinate, it is okay. What is this? Okay, this is 1. This is 2. So because this is 1, so this remaining one is 1. So and then y wave is 1. Right. So that's the case. And then for okay, this is too messy already. So for the circle here, the coordinate will be straightforward, right? So the centroid is here, so the coordinate in this case is -2. So you have -2 and then goes up 1. So 1. -2 and 1. All right. So something I didn't realize. There's a mistake here actually in this case because I just write the area, but going back here, it should be the rectangular area plus the triangle minus the circle, right? So this should be minus. Right, so we have to double check. This one is positive area, negative area. All right. So coordinate here is -1 should be correct, and then -5 there, and then 7/3. So it goes there 7/3, and then 1. Okay, makes sense. And then -2 and 1. Okay. So once you have all of this, the rest is basically calculation. Right, so in this case, you'll get 12 times -1 become -12, for example, and then 12 times 0.5 is 6. So this one, what do you get? This 3 times 4 times 5, 2, 3,
6.
6. Yeah, okay, 6. 6 times 7.7/3 and 2 times 7, what is it? 14. And then 6 times 1 is 6. So positive, positive, positive. Okay. Okay, this one negative and then this one negative, so should be positive here. Okay, so this one require you have to have calculator. Otherwise, if you just multiply, it become 2. Wait, this half square 1/2, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Yeah, 1/4 and 2 is 1/2, right? Pi. It's plus. In case negative and 1, so positive, so it become negative 1 here, so 1/4 pi. Okay, it's not enough place there. Yeah, so basically there you go. Of course, in the exam, normally question, of course, this shape is quite straightforward, I think. But even in the exam, because if you know how to deal with all of this, the only thing that can prevent you from getting the full mark for this kind of question is if we make a mistake in terms of the negative or the coordinate, where just like we forgot to minus or something. So just double check. Normally double check, because normally to understand what to need to do is not that difficult. It's just that avoiding mistakes. So to apply this x bar and y bar equation, so we just add summation here for summation of area down here, and then summation of xa for this one, and summation of ya or y with a for this one, right? So plug in the value, you should get the answer. And do go back to the question to see whether they specify what type of answer they want. For example, um, determine the coordinate. So you have to give, okay, then oops, x bar y bar coordinate equal to what? Something, right? Just to get that final marks there, because it when it says, because if you just stop there, it's still not a coordinate. So maybe you just lose 1 mark or something, but it can be significant in the exam to lose 1 mark. So just refer back to the question to avoid missing out something. All right, so that is how you deal with different how to say how to compute centroid of combination of basic shapes like this. Normally in the exam, okay, is it possible to get weird shape? Normally, it's combination of these three shape. Normally, other things that may be possible is semicircle. But if one of those is given, normally you will be given the table to use to refer to. So make sure you understand how to refer to the table to find centroid of some shapes that is not as normal as these three basic shapes. All right, so that's basically what I think is needed to be explained for this quiz. And be sure that, because it is chapter 9 and 10 definitely will have one question each in the final exam. It's just that depending on the allocated of time, if you refer to many previous exam, if chapter 9 is integration, chapter 10 is composite. If chapter 10 integration, chapter 9 composite. Normally it is that way, but sometimes if the time given for chapter 9, 10 is more, then maybe you have both type of integration and composite for any of chapter 9 or 10, one of which. I think one semester we have this how to say, finding the centroid actually embedded in chapter 5. I think do have I think in the tutorial you have that, you have covered that, right? Where you have to do integration first, I think, for finding centroid, and then you can solve chapter 5. So that doesn't normally happen, but when it happens, you have to know how to combine different chapters, right? So that's just some possibilities of final exam questions. As long as you are ready for any of the possibility, inshallah, hopefully you can do well. All right, so that's my explanation. Feel free to ask if you have any question.